once you have those two figures, I bring home $3,500 a month after I pay all the taxes and everything taken out of my check, insurance. My bills are $2,900 a month. You got to have those two numbers in order to budget. Period. You can't make a budget if you don't know how much you're bringing in and how much is going out. It has to, in order for that. So, number one, you paying your tithes. Number two, you pay yourself like you pay your bill. That 10%. Both. You that 10% to the church out of your gross income, 10% to yourself. Okay? Write down how much you have net income. Then after that, you write down how much you owe in your bills. So that way you'll know how much you have to save and where your money going. So, I don't know, like I say, everybody gets paid differently. You may get paid weekly. You may get paid bi-weekly. You may get paid semi-monthly. You may only get a check once a month. Some people are on a fixed income, and that's okay. But once you realize how much you owe and how much you bring in, then you go and this is a step a lot of people skip. Find out what day the bills are due. You can't be financially savvy if you don't even know what day your bills are due. So you need to look and see, okay, the power bill due on this day, the water bill is due on this day, etc., etc. Write down the time and the dates that those bills are due, so that way you'll know, okay, with this first pay, because I know me personally, without my entrepreneurship, my regular 9 to 5, I get paid bi-weekly. With this paycheck right here, I'm paying these 10 bills. I'm paying my tithes, I'm paying myself, then I'm paying these 10 bills. This second paycheck, I'm paying my tithes, I'm paying myself, and I'm paying these 10 bills. So that way you're on a schedule. Once that money gone, you know you don't have anything left. You don't have anything to go and splurge on. That's what it is. You want additional income, God will bless you with what you need first and foremost, then what you want if you're obedient. So let's start there. Now, say you do have additional income, which God's willing you do. After you pay that, then let's start paying off. And this is step number 4, I believe. Cordelia was keeping track for me. After you pay that, then you need to start paying down some of that large debt that you have. Now, a tool and a tip that I use a lot of people aren't aware of is that interest is calculated daily. So when you pay your mortgage once a month, you pay your car note once a month, you're paying interest from the first of the month to the end of the month. Every 30 days, you're paying interest, and it compounds daily. Now, when you have those big ticket items like a mortgage or a car or any large loans that you may have on, say you had to get your air conditioning unit fixed, you need to pay those items and split them up in your bills twice, because the more payments you make on those items in a short amount of time, the less interest you pay in the long run. So, for instance, if you have a mortgage and your mortgage payment is $1,400, you pay $700 on the first and the other $700 on the 15th, your mortgage payment not late, and more of that money is going towards the principal versus the interest because you only pay 14 days worth of interest. And a lot of people don't realize that. And they're not going to teach you that in school. Trust and believe they're doing it because they're saving 4 and 5 years on their loan, paying the same amount of money you paying, but you paying it once a month, while they paying it every 2 weeks or every time they get paid. So the more often you make a payment, the less that you pay in interest on that total payment in the long run. So just to reiterate, first sit down, write down what your net income is and your bills. No, scratch that. First, write down what your gross income is, take your tithes off of that, and then write down your net income, then your bills. Then number 2, after you do that, find out what days your bills are due. So your payments, your bills won't be late. Make sure you're paying them on the correct due date. Don't spend more than you have. it's good to have a credit card to build your credit. And trust me, I work with credit. That's what my side job is. You have to have a mixture of credit. But don't spend more than you can afford to pay back, ever. I don't care what anybody tell you. Just be honest and real with yourself. If you can't afford to pay it back, don't swipe that card and spend it. Okay? Contact, like I said, the utility companies, lights, gas, power, cell phone, cable, everything you got, Wi-Fi. Find out what day those bills are due so you can pay them on the correct date. And especially with COVID-19 happening right now, you want to try to cook at home as much as possible. Save that money that you're spending at the fast food restaurant. That's why they overcharge you, and that's why we getting sick, because it's called fast food. You're getting this food at a fast rate, but it's really not good for you. But if you just take some time out to cook at home a little bit more, that's another tip as well that you can use to save. Now, I know, oh yes, of course, you never do spend more than 30% on your credit card. I honestly, a tool that I don't even spend up to the 30%, Miss Penny. I spend no more than a 7%. And I pay the whole thing off. The whole entire thing. People got these little tricks. Well, you pay half right now, then half before the due date. Don't even do that to yourself. If you used it to build your credit, pay the whole thing off so you're not stuck with that debt, because you want as least liabilities as possible. I had, like I said, came up with this PowerPoint, but I know you can't see my screen. So I'm going to show you on my computer, and it's kind of hard to see. It says the power of the black dollar. Now, ethnic hair care and beauty aids, black people spend $54 million a year on our hair and beauty. The total spent with everybody is $63, but we spending $54 million of that $63 million. That goes to tell you something right there. Then number 2, women's fragrances. We love to smell good. We spend, as African Americans, $152 million, where the rest of the world spending only 22% of that. Next, men's toiletries, personal soaps. So I just printed this out to show you guys so that you can see. And it's not to be rude, but our priorities are messed up. Our priorities are messed up. Like I said, we only 14% of the whole population, but we spending, yes, I can send it to you, Miss. I'm going to upload the whole entire PowerPoint in the group. We spending most of the money. We're spending most of the money. If the total spent for ethnic hair products is $64 million and black people spending $55 million, what does that go to tell you? We giving all our money to them. Fragrances, the total spent is $679 million, and we spending $152 million of that. 152. Next on the list, men's toiletries, women's fragrances, frozen prepared food, juice, and drinks. Knowing we drinking that pop, we ain't got no business drinking. Spices and seasoning. Well, we know they don't like to season their food. Bottled water, gum, etc. We spend a lot of unnecessary money when that money's supposed to go into savings. And the money's supposed to go where it's supposed to go. Because once you sow your seed, that's how you're going to get blessed. And I'm not saying pay your tithes just to get money or give people money just to get something from it. Because it ain't going to count if it's not happening from the goodness of your heart. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. They could preach on tithes all day long and you can pay your tithes. But if it's not coming from your heart and you feeling some type of way when you're trying to let that money go, you might as well keep it, because God gonna get it anyway, and God gonna get it anyhow, whether you want to willingly give it up or not. So why not give it freely and give it from your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul. And also, it's a couple of different apps that I use for budgeting. I use mint.com. That basically pulls all your information from whoever your financial institution is. That one, and I use Truebill. It tells you, oh, this bill is due on this day. This bill is due on this day before it's due. So I'm like thanking you because I'm getting forgetful. I know I may look good, but I got grandkids, okay? I'm getting forgetful. So with that being said, I use those two apps, Mint and Truebill, because it keeps me abreast of how much money I spent, if I spent it foolishly, just being honest, how much you spent on fast food, how much you spent on clothes, how much you spent on entertainment. It tells you all of that. So I use Mint.com for that, as well as Truebill. And then also a good app to check your credit for free, which gives you a Vantage score, not a FICO score, which that's a story for a whole nother day. But I use Credit Sesame and Credit Karma for that. That doesn't give you your true FICO, which you need in order to purchase like a home loan or car loan or things of that nature. But it does keep you abreast of what's going on with your credit and your finances. And also Discover Score, Discover freescorecard.com, which, like I said, that's in the, I know, right? I look good. I got 3 grandkids. But no, it's not like a leisure, Miss Maisha. What it is, it's an app. Truebill is an app. Mint.com is an actual website. And with the way technology is set up, you put in your information, like if you do online banking, your username and password, and it pulls all your information from your financial institution once they verify that it's you. Yes, I use Experian Boost as well. Once it pulls that information, then it tells you, okay, this is how much you're spending on utilities. This is how much you spent on fast food. This is how much you spent on your car, your house, etc., etc. So it breaks it down, and it also allows you to make a budget on how much you want to save too. It even tells you want a 6-month saving. This is how much you need to save out of each one of these checks. So it does the work for you. It does the work for you. And thanks for the Experian. I'm going to have to put the Experian website on this PowerPoint as well, so that way when I upload it, people will have that information too. And when you do the Experian Boost, make sure you linking it to your main bank account, the one that you pay your bills from, because you want to get credit for those bills that's not showing up on your credit report, like your cell phone bill and things like that. Yes, I know. So those are just some of the tips that I had as far as budgeting. Did anybody have any questions or concerns before I end the live? Yes, it does give you the calculations for you. Mint.com does, not Truebill. Truebill tells you when your bills are due. And both are free. They do, of course, try to cross-sell you other items, but you don't have to purchase those items. Yes, it does work. I love Experian Boost. Sometimes I've had to go in there and update my information, but it's worth it. It has my Experian credit score looking quite nice. I need to say myself, it looks nice. But did anybody else have any other questions or concerns pertaining to budgeting or credit in general? Miss Penny and Miss Cordelia as well. They're with the same company I am when it comes to credit. So if you have any questions, you can also contact them if you know them personally, or contact me. I'm more than willing to answer any questions pertaining to those items as well. Doesn't look like anyone had any other questions, but I am going to add the PowerPoint to the page under files. I love you too, Miss Penny, and God bless you as well. And, you guys just keep me lifted up in prayer, as well as I do the same for everybody else, because a lot of times I'm asked to do things, and, asked to do things like this, for instance, or other things, and I love to do it. I'm not a teacher, but I love to spread information and knowledge, because I wish somebody would have told me. I really did. When I first learned about credit, my credit score was 424. And it's well over 800 now. And the reason it was like that was because we weren't taught these things. So if I can teach somebody something that I didn't know, I'm more than willing to help. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever, That's just what it is. Well, you guys have a good night. I know it's late in Florida. It's only 6:30 here. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. So, like I said, if you have any other questions or concerns, please inbox me and let me know. All right, you guys have a good night.